So I'm sitting here icing my back, which I do very often. But I am getting ready for a very busy day, and I wanted to come on really fast before I got ready for the day and share a little bit about how I feel about living out the Lord's will now in my life, and some of the things that He's revealed to me. And I think that it's important that I share, because I think it might be a blessing to somebody else. So if you've been with my channel for a while, you know that I love to dream and have goals and have plans, and mostly for the sake of feeling like there's always something to shoot for, whether that's, an ultimate goal, like in the past, homesteading, or, originally I wanted to homeschool my kids all the way through 12th grade, or, being able to ... fill in the blanks of what, dreams would be. I got hair on my face. And about 4 years ago, everything really shifted. I had always had natural births, and then I had my first C-section, and that kind of, I guess, rocked my world. I don't know how you want to say it. It was really challenging for me. And then about a year after that, my oldest son started Catholic school, and I personally felt that I had reached my level of being able to homeschool him well and effectively, and ... And it's honestly, in the long run, has been positive, but it, again, really was challenging for me. And the next thing that changed was I was really hoping that one day we would homestead, we'd be able to have land and homestead. And my husband lovingly, but, in a charitable way, explained that he didn't think it was going to be a possibility with the way in which our life was going. And that was like with him in ministry, and really our family in ministry. And that was another area that was really challenging. So with those three things, it kind of was they were the catalyst for me to go into almost like kind of a dark place for a few years, a place of feeling like everything that I had really hoped and dreamed of was gone, and I had to figure out what that meant, and if I could even make, new goals and dreams and stuff like that. And recently I sat down with my husband, and we weren't sitting, but we were talking, and I was sharing just some hardships that I was experiencing and how I felt like nothing had changed for a long time. And even though I had taken those 4 years to lose 80 pounds and get my health in a better place, I was still feeling kind of lost in the area of my hopes and dreams. Now, that might sound really silly to some of you, but for me, it's a big part of how my brain and my, I guess, emotions function. And I feel like I'm able to give more of myself in my daily choices if I have something I'm shooting for. And obviously, the hope to get, be a part of helping my husband get to heaven and my children get to heaven has always been the ultimate for me. The little things in daily life were feeling just like I was just going through the motions and doing everything I was supposed to do. But that deep joy that I always felt, because I knew I was striving for something, had left. And so my husband really encouraged me to focus on finding dreams, like right where we were at, but really spend time delving into that for myself. So, pretty quickly after that, I was driving to the store alone, which is pretty rare, but I was. And I was just really in deep prayer. And I was listening to something that morning, like a Christian inspirational thing. And I was driving to Aldi, just a regular thing, and it hit me so hard. The Lord showed me. So it was kind of like He showed me that I was on this island before, and the island was filled with the dreams and the goals that I was going for, and I felt content and I felt sure of myself. And then at one point He asked me to get off of the island and start swimming, and swam, and I felt like I had been swimming for 4 years, and sometimes just keeping myself floating, and other times actually swimming, but I was striving. But when I looked around, there was literally not an island in sight, and I just was swimming, and I was feeling really discouraged. And when he showed me this picture in my mind, I guess, it helped me to realize why I had felt the way I had felt, because in my mind, I was looking for an island. I was looking for something to put my feet on. And what I failed to realize through this process was, one, I was definitely on a path and journey of faith and patience and endurance and building the virtue that the Bible talks about. Excuse me. It can only happen a lot of times in times like these. And second of all, he really showed me that he is God, and he can literally make a boat appear out of nowhere. He can make an island appear out of nowhere. So just because I'm swimming, and by the way, in this scenario, the swimming is the everyday things that we do all day. Definitely in the picture I had in my mind, I was not on a boat. I was swimming, because that's how it felt, keeping my head above water. But he showed me that, I was looking for another island. I was looking for what I could do, but I failed to see that there is purpose in the swimming. There is purpose in the waiting. And there is this important piece that he's God and he can make something appear like that. So it was really powerful. Sorry, my 5-year-old's really loud, so I thought something happened, but he was just playing. So anyway, so that happened. So I go into Aldi after I realize this, and I walk in and I meet a woman. She was having like a stress moment, and I walked up and I asked her if I could put my hand on her arm, and I did, and we talked for a little while about stress. And I had a shirt on, I'd forgotten, that said, that God is a waymaker. And she was like, I see you're a Christian. So we started talking, and I realized in that moment she started sharing things that she was stressed about, and they were almost exactly the things that I had been stressed about all those years ago, and that God had worked through and had walked me through it, and it just sent me this beautiful picture in my mind, or I don't know, it would be a vision, but whatever. And it was so powerful meeting her in that moment. It was like such a God moment. I knew that God was saying to me, you're right where I want you to be. So the last part I want to share is that recently I had another moment like that, where it was like I could see myself swimming, and it was nighttime, and I felt there were sharks around me, and I was very scared and stressed, but I kept telling myself, I will keep swimming, Lord. I will keep swimming. And suddenly, in this picture in my mind, it was so vivid, a boat came, a little tiny like sea boat, like a little fisherman's boat came, and an arm came out, and I grabbed it, and he pulled me up, and I couldn't see his face. I could just see kind of like the bottom of his feet, and I laid down the boat, and I felt him say, just rest. And so I did. I just like laid down the boat and just like, ugh. And when I came out of that, I was like so moved, because for 4 years, I have been consistently doing what I felt the Lord wanted me to do, all the everyday things. I had no, like, that joy inside. I was constantly searching for it. I just did what I felt like the next step I was supposed to do. And I love my husband. I love my children. I tried my best to get healthy for my vocation. I tried to share the ups and downs with people that I felt could encourage them to grow the kingdom, and also to encourage them in their hearts, and all of it without that joy that I personally am born to have. Like, I was born to, like, I have since I was born. Like, it's just this joy that pushes me forward. And for those years, it was literally gone. And I thought it was depression. I thought it was this. I thought it was that. But now I can see so clearly that it was a growth, a spiritual growth inside of me. And I feel now like I felt when I thought that I was like swimming in the water. I'm sorry, I'm not making any sense, but I forgot to say this part right before I went to Aldi and I had this experience with God. I said to him, Lord, I will keep swimming. I will hold my head above water. I will do it as long as you want me to. And I have faith that you will bring me to where you want me to go then. So that was like really important. I totally forgot. But so when I got on the boat, and like in that picture in my mind he gave me, and I rested, I realized that it was like kind of like how people were wandering in the desert for 40 years, kind of like couldn't get it. Like, for 4 years, I could not get what he was trying to say to me. I didn't understand, but I kept going in faith. I hadn't made the connection in my mind, but when I finally like saw it and he showed me, he gave me that peace. Like a few days later, he gave me the next picture of just resting in the boat. And so I just wanted to encourage any of you, if you're in a hard or a dark time, or just a time where you're really struggling, I just really want to encourage you, like, of course, always seek the help you need from, you know, a doctor. Do what you need to do physically. Find yourself a spiritual director. Do all the things that, you know, you feel that you should do and that you know that you should do. So I have to go because we have to run an errand. But I just want to say, I just really want to encourage any of you guys, whoo, that light's bright, that if you're in a place like that and you know, of course, you're seeking all the help that you're needing physically and spiritually and stuff, trust in the Lord, and do not be afraid of walking with him and trusting him, even if you're like, I don't get it. And yeah, so I hope you guys all have a beautiful day.